cost-effective and efficient model that has been launched by Google quite recently. And we will also be talking about generative AI in general. And then we will move on to uh, um, the implementation or the kind of process that we are following in order for faculty and students to take part in this program. So it is a workshop model. So we are planning to do this in the form of workshops at your campus. So we will be talking about the process that is being followed, the kind of data that is required, access to various reports and dashboard, then benefit and outcomes of the program, and also how is it helpful to students, the kind of certificate that will be provided, and also two different workshop models that can be opted for. You can choose between these two. So because this is mostly vacation time after their semester exam, so there are two different models that are available, and the faculty are free to choose which one they would like to go with. Okay. We'll go with each point. It's about a 40 to 45-minute webinar. And towards the end, we will have a question and answer session where we can maybe address some questions that you might have. So before we proceed with the operations and the way in which the institution would like to participate in this program, we would like to give a quick overview of the technology itself, just to just so that we are all on the same page and for us to see the understand the scope of this uh, technology. Uh, so I would like to begin with introducing Gemini 2.0, which is the latest large language model offered by Google. Is, uh, there are multiple versions that are available, but the main focus is on the 2.0 version of this LLM, which is Gemini. It is a consolidated product coming from almost 3,000 researchers and 7,000 publications that have been cited, that have been made in order to develop this model. Uh, it is integrated with Google Cloud. So this particular access to this particular model is being offered through the Google Cloud uh, uh, interface, and also the execution or the running of this model also happens on Google Cloud's infrastructure. So the reason for that being that, um, of course, a deep a history of how um, Google's predictive and generative AI has been developed over the past so many years, right from 2017 onwards. Almost it's been 8 years since this journey has started. And even before that, even 2 decades before that, the R&D for something like this was already in place, right? So, and that has resulted in this particular LLM that we are able to access today. It is deeply integrated with Google AI, scalable infrastructure that is offered by Google Cloud AI. And most of these services are enterprise ready for us to use either in commercial applications or even for developers and students. Uh, what makes this particular model stand out is its multimodal interpretation. So interconversion between different types of structured and unstructured data is actually possible both for input and output. Okay? Even as input, we are able to give it text, code, images, documents, audio, and video, and we are able to convert it into any of the above formats. So that makes it uh, a multimodal LLM. What is new in this technology? Um, Focus is on multimodal input output. So if it is for multimodal audio output, we are able to see high quality voice outputs, and which helps us to build quite rich applications. Different scope of these applications include maybe voice enabled assistants and educational apps and so on. Image based output and access to a rich API interface. There are some other external tools that are also made available that can be integrated with this particular model, provided we have the SDK installed. Okay? And there is a unified SDK. So the same SDK, through the same SDK, we are able to access all the features of this particular uh, model. Okay? There are three versions to this technology, Gemini 2.0. There's Flash, which is a lighter version. Flash, which is the faster and the more optimal version, which is falls right between Light and Pro. Pro is a more advanced version. It's a little more expensive. Light is for maybe extremely low cost versus getting a similar performance. Okay, so both Light and Flash offer 1 million token input, a context window. That is the kind of input that we are able to provide. It's almost close to 1 million, which is actually quite high. We look at the scope of this particular technology. And Gemini 2.0 Pro is going up to, it is doubling that window to around 2 million. And Pro is usually for maybe higher order um, processing, either for complex reasoning, coding, and complex prompts, complex context setup, and things like that. And Flash and Light are for a slightly less complexity. So this particular program is based on Gemini 2.0 Flash, which is being made available to students and faculty through these workshops, through this program. Now we see a lot of other options that are also available in the market when it comes to access to LLM in terms of their capability, in terms of the price point, the price that they are set at, as well as the efficiency and also accuracy of output. So we just did a quick survey of how this particular model stands out when compared to some of the other models that are available. And this is again coming from lmarena.ai, where we are able to track the cost versus score, is the performance of that particular model. And we see that at a very low cost, Gemini 2.0 Flash is able to achieve a performance score of something close to 1360. Okay? So this is one of the ratings that we've seen, and it is a fair improvement from what we had in Gemini, the previous version of Gemini, right? And this comes from extensive training across various types of input and also the multimodal provision that is being made available through this particular model. So if we are able to compare it with some of the other competitors, uh, for example, models like DeepSeek or GPT-4o, right, and even Claude and things like that. So first of all, cost is something that is uh, of importance, and we are able to bring that cost down right up to maybe $0.3 per million output tokens that are generated. Okay? So that is a huge step, even compared to what we see in some of these other cost-effective models like DeepSeek, and with the same kind of quality of output, right? So this is just for us to understand and why we as faculty, and also for us to promote something like this to our students, how is this helpful? And also how is this inclined with the educational goals that we have uh, for our uh, students. So moving on, this is a quick comparison as to how some of these different models that are available in Gemini, in the Gemini product suite, uh, are able to do the kind of um, options that we have that are available and the capability of these models. So we are going with um 2.0 Flash, and you can compare it with 1.5 Flash, and 2.0 Flash is what we are actually going with, which is the third model. Okay? So 1 million token context window, and it is able to give us a fairly advanced text output. Okay? And it also has tool integration, so it is able to integrate with various kinds of tools, be it web search, again, through Google's search interface, search engine interface, and also other tool integrations related to code execution and things like that. So this is a major advantage that we are able to see as part of the 2.0 Flash model. Okay. There is a quick demo as to how this particular model does a particular task here, which is spatial reasoning. So given an image and asking it to understand the placement of some of these uh, items on in the image. So we are able to see how this particular model performs, okay, for a task like this. We can do a quick play to maybe see how this works, just for our understanding. Let me share my screen once again with audio output. So
These are examples of what you can build with spatial understanding in Gemini 2.0. We introduced this capability in our 1.5 models, and we've advanced it even further with Gemini 2.0. This is a new tool in AI Studio that makes it easier to explore spatial understanding with multimodal reasoning. For example, you can input this image and prompt it to give you the positions of the origami animals. This is a real-time recording, and notice how fast the results came back. That's because this is running on our new experimental Gemini 2.0 Flash model, which enables advanced spatial understanding with low latency. You can see if the model can reason about which shadow belongs to which animal by asking for the fox's shadow. And the model finds it over here. Or ask it about the armadillo's shadow. It finds that too. Spatial understanding enables new ways to interact with images. It lets models do more than generate text about an image. Gemini 2.0 can search within an image. You can give it this image and see if it can find both rainbow socks. The model finds the matching pair. You can even ask it to find the socks with the face. And it finds those too. This was a particularly neat result because you'll see the faces are really small and obscured. Like all models, it won't always get everything right, so you can try your own prompts to see what works for you. You can combine spatial reasoning with multilingual capabilities. You can give it an image like this and prompt it to label each item with Japanese characters and English translation. The model reads the text from the image itself and translates it. With spatial understanding, Gemini 2.0 enables AI agents that can reason about the physical world. For example, you can give the model this photo and ask for the position of the spill. But then ask how it would clean it up with an explanation. And the model points out the towel over here. And with Gemini 2.0, we're introducing 3D spatial understanding. This is a preliminary capability still in early stages, so it won't be as accurate as 2D positions, but we're sharing it so that developers can try it and give us feedback. Here's a Colab notebook that lets you prompt the model to give you 3D positions within photos. Then we visualize those positions in a top-down view, essentially turning the photo into an interactive floor plan. These are just a few examples of how you can build your own multimodal AI agents with Gemini 2.0. Start building with Gemini 2.0 at aistudio.google.com.
Okay. So that was just a quick demo of the spatial reasoning capability that is currently offered through this new model. This is something that is again new to uh, this domain, and this continuous improvement that will also happen. And we are able to experiment with all of these features through the workshop that we are going to be conducting on this technology. Then there's another demo. We won't get into this demo due to the lack of time, but it's about optimizing images, native image output demo, and customizing, converting it. Okay. So there's a lot of uh, options. There is one video, one demo on native tool use. So this is actually more applicable to students, engineering students, because they will be able to deal with, because they already work with different kinds of data as part of their coursework. And using a model such as Gemini 2.0 in order to improve the understanding of data patterns is something that uh, is helpful for them during their coursework. So I will just do a quick demo of this tool usage that is tightly coupled or integrated with this model. Okay.
These are examples of what you can build with native tool use in Gemini 2.0. Gemini 2.0 is natively built to use tools like code execution and Google Search. Here's a demo that combines tool use with real-time interaction, built using the new Multimodal Live API. Make a bar graph that compares the runtime of The Godfather and Oppenheimer. Add the other two Godfathers to the graph. Pick 3 random superhero movies and add them to the graph. Notice how quickly the model responded. That's because this is powered by our new experimental Gemini 2.0 Flash model. It's able to search and code while you interact in real time. One really neat thing about this demo is how easy it is to set up the graph renderer. All you have to do is describe what that tool does, like this. And the model, using the simple description you give it, figures out how to render graphs all by itself. We've open sourced this demo along with Colab notebooks to get you started. You can also explore tool use in AI Studio. Let's say you have to research New York restaurants, and you need to look up the phone number, address, and write a brief description for all of these places. We gave this prompt to the 2.0 Flash model, and look how quickly it does that for you. The model is writing search queries, retrieving info, and putting it into this table. It even provides citations and links so you can explore further. You can customize and control how tools are used in your applications. You might want to use Google Search for some things and not others. You can write instructions like these, telling it to only use Google Search for questions about sports. Then, if you ask something like this, the model will answer without using search. But if you ask this, it'll use Google Search to answer, just like you instructed it to. This ability, where the model decides when to use the right tool based on your instructions, is one of the strengths of native tool use in Gemini 2.0. These are just a few examples of how you can build your own multimodal AI agents with Gemini 2.0. Start building with Gemini 2.0 at aistudio.google.com.
Okay, so those are just two different demos, one on multimodal spatial reasoning and one on native tool use. These are two important milestones that we see we are able to achieve through this model. And through this workshop, I think we'll be able to take some more examples as students and faculty to experiment.
These are examples of
And we will skip the multimodal live streaming demo. This is more for video live streaming.
okay.
Moving forward, uh, whatever access to all of these services comes through Google Cloud AI ecosystem. Everything is tightly coupled with the Google Cloud infrastructure and console account that will be provided to all learners. And Vertex AI is the actual service that allows us to access all of these uh, products and services. So right from accessing different types of models that are available, there is Vertex AI Studio where we can query some of these models directly in the browser. Then you can customize some of these models provided we have the credits available. You can perform vector search. There's Colab enterprise access on Vertex Studio itself. And then everything is again secure and reliable. So access to Vertex AI is also given through the same workshop that we are conducting on this technology. This is an overview of the architecture that is being followed for Gemini 2.2, all the services that are being offered. So right from the underlying infrastructure consisting of GPUs and TPUs up to a governance layer that integrates MLOps, CloudOps, and Dataplex, on top of which we have databases, analytics, the AI module, and then Looker for insights. And this architecture allows us to use Gemini in order to construct or build AI agents through Google Cloud services. Okay. So, and everything, the advantage of something like this is that we are able to use existing cloud services, integrate them with generative AI services, and then use both of these in order to build AI agents. So that is the advantage that we're going to be getting. So we don't have to rely on any other service outside Google Cloud. And tooling options again. So right from drag and drop to writing basic code to writing full code to build agents is something that is also available for us to experiment. So in the examples that we provide as part of this workshop, we're taking 3, 4 different use cases. One which doesn't require too much of coding, which has a drag and drop interface. Then there's one where we'll be using BigQuery. BigQuery is again a service on Google Cloud where it is used to handle large amounts of data. Something like maybe when we talk about search capabilities or maybe processing search results, we make use of BigQuery, right? So that is an example that we take. And then the last model, the last example is on building a complete agent using Agent Builder available on Vertex. Okay? So all three examples are made available as part of this workshop for faculty and students. So depending on the use case that we would like to address, we will be able to choose which one is more applicable. Yeah, like I said, multimodal access, image-based, video-based, and audio-based are also available on the same uh, interface. So we will skip most of the other slides due to lack of time. We will move on to the, so I think the scope of this technology is quite clear and the advantage that we're going to be getting. Let us move on to the program itself. How do we, how can we make use of, how can we participate? How can an institution enroll, register, and participate in this program? So there is a flyer that we have created for all of you, which talks about the general objectives, outcomes of the program. Uh, uh, Again, it's being offered by Google for developers and in collaboration with L4G. So there are two modules that we will be working on as part of this workshop that we will be uh, completing for students. So one is the Introduction to Generative AI, which is a very generic module where we talk about what is the technology, what is generative AI, and how does it fit into the overall AI space, and what is the advantage of it, what are large language models, what is responsible AI, vertex AI, and things like that. So these are more like generic concepts to get the students to have a conceptual understanding of the technology. And then we move into a more specific uh, with a more specific focus on Gemini 2.0 Flash. So we'll be selecting this particular LLM and we will be taking some hands-on labs in order to use this LLM in order to build applications. So there are a few applications that we are focusing on. So initially, we will have a code lab to get students to familiarize themselves with this particular model and also Google Cloud Console. Then we take an example of a yoga pose recommender app that they're going to build as part of this approach. So this pose recommender the easier app. From if you remember from the previous slide, there are three verticals. One is no code, one is using partial code, and one is used to develop comprehensive AI agents. So the first one is comes under the no code category. Then we'll also, as coursework, the students will be able to work on another app, which is a YouTube Summarizer app, which makes use of partial code uh, techniques and also some of these other cloud-based services offered on Google Cloud, like BigQuery and all, in order to build a YouTube summarizer. So you'll be able to summarize, you'll be able to query information about videos on YouTube, and then the system will be able to summarize the results and for the user. Then the third module is on building comprehensive AI agents using Agent Builder available on Vertex AI. Okay. These three will be part of uh, this workshop. And the outcomes of the program, so 40 hours of content access, 25 hours of hands-on labs with almost $125 cloud credit and technical support for the program. And the outcomes of the Gemini module is access to $5 credit to complete all the code labs on these tasks, and also the content that we are going to be giving in addition to access. Okay. So this is the scope of the program.